thought about whether you wanted to be baptized again? Maybe you were baptized like I was in a congregation where I really didn't know anybody. My husband and I lived in South San Francisco, and I was attending a Baptist church, and I was so shy. I didn't go up and meet anybody. I didn't know how to do that. That was out of my comfort zone. So if they didn't come up and greet me, I just sat quietly in church and then went home as soon as the service was over. I did that for many years. One day I really felt the call to be baptized when they were holding a baptism at the church. And so I went forward and I was baptized. No friends, no family there to witness it. That was in May of 1972 when I was 8 months pregnant with my oldest son. I have 4 sons. I was so shy, and my husband wasn't a believer, and so I don't even think I told him that I had gotten baptized that day back in 1972. It was probably maybe 1995 or 1996. My youngest of my 4 sons was an associate pastor at this church. He was the missions pastor, actually. I talked to one of the elders about it. I said, I really, really want to be baptized again in front of my family, in front of friends. But I feel like it's wrong. Am I saying that the first time I was baptized, it didn't do anything, so I'm feeling a need to be baptized again? He assured me that there was nothing wrong with being baptized a second time. It's just like there's nothing wrong with rededicating your life once you have dedicated your heart to the Lord, and then maybe you might kind of slip away for a little while and you come back to church and you rededicate your life, which I have done. So I thought about the situation. And then there was one day when my son was giving the message at church, and I knew they were going to have a baptism call that day. So I planned ahead, and I didn't tell him about it. But when he made the baptism call, I went to the prayer room and got ready. I saw him there in the back, and he says, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be baptized today. And one of the ladies says, yes, we have one person. And he said, oh, okay, well, where is she? But it was me. And so I got to be baptized again by my youngest son. And it was the best thing ever. It was so sweet to be able to profess my faith in front of all the people that I knew in the church, because I had gotten well known in the church by then, in front of my sons, my daughter-in-laws, and a couple of my grandchildren at that time. And it had such special meaning to it, where the first time it was special between me and the Lord, but not to anybody else. So I've been baptized twice officially. The third time I was baptized, it was just a funny little thing that happened. One of my grandsons, when he went off to college, we live on the West Coast, and he went to Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. And the first year as he was going back there, he says, Grandma, would you and Sean, my current husband, I married him in 2015, and he and this grandson made click just like this. But Nicholas says, Grandma, would you and Sean like to do a road trip this summer? And I says, well, what have you got in mind? And he said, well, when I get out of school, Mom's going to drive back there with me. I'm wondering if you and Sean would like to fly back and drive back home with me when I get out of school for the summer. And I thought, we would love to do that, Nicholas. That would be an awesome thing for us. So we flew to Washington, D.C. when he got out of college for the summer. And the day we were getting ready to leave, or maybe it was the day before, it was pouring rain. But we did all the touristy things and went around to all the Washington, D.C. monuments, the Lincoln Memorial, the Iwo Jima, the Washington Monument, all of those sites. And it was pouring rain. I had my umbrella out there. And we were at the Washington Memorial Reflection Pool. And it's not very deep, maybe 18 inches at the most. And I had lost sight of Nicholas and my husband, and I was kind of looking around, and I walked straight off of that sidewalk and into that reflection pool. I mean, it looked like the sidewalk, the reflection was so good there. And I went face first into that pool. And I guess they must have seen me because immediately they were right there. And ever since then, my grandson, who is a Christian, he went to a Christian college, Liberty, he likes to tell people that I came back to see him and I insisted on getting baptized in the Washington Reflection Pond. So I was not baptized once, not twice, but according to him, I was baptized 3 times. All that to say, if you're ever questioning whether you feel like you should be baptized again, there's nothing wrong with it. Go for it. If you want to be baptized a second time and show those around you that you love the Lord, you can do that. Don't question yourself. That's between you and the Lord anyway. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.